TSWS Game.
Come and talk to me,
Lennard Ray.
That's
Come
your
on.
name. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby. Listen, I'm just saying we can rule the world, just me and you. If you quit playing, won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Look, see we vibing and you know it's true. Baby, what it do? Do for me and I'ma do for you. No doubt about it, boo. See, I'm a Midwest king, looking for myself a queen. Ready to chase a dream with a dope self-esteem. You find it in all I know, and that's for real. You get to shaking that ass on the floor, and I see what's real. No disrespect, I just tell it like it is. Do you ever want some kids? What your ultimate goals? Maybe I can help with those. The mo was broke when he made you a blessing. You looking like a whole buffet, and I need some seconds. You say you had promiscuous ways, that was back in the day. I'll be alive, I say I did it. That shit was a phase. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you if you quit playing. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Lady, you so far ahead of these others, just like a ship on the horizon. Picking up on your vibe, signal stronger than Verizon. All the thoughts that I've been contemplating, ain't no time for faking or debating. You the one, ain't no mistaking. Look, I see you swag different. Always carry yourself like you ready, you know the mission. I had to know you, I'm tempted. I can see why you timid. Hold up now, baby, listen. Just take that dance with me, I can show you that there's a difference. I'm locked in. I throw away my playaways because you pop in. A shooter always shoot a shot. With you by my side, I guarantee we'll reach the top. I put that on God and then I give you all that I got. So baby, take this journey with me. You can pick the time and place, this nigga isn't picky. Smile on your face, I know the deal. Sign and deliver after seal. I can see it in her eyes, this one right here for real. I just wanna have a conversation. No, I'm not your type of baby, listen, I'm just saying. We can rule the world, just me and you if you quit playing. Won't you take a chance with me and have that conversation? I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk, yeah. I just wanna have that conversation with you. Come and talk to me.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another fantastic episode of Behind Them Sticks with your boy Ham Solo 05 Gaming here today on the TSWS Gaming channel. Oh Lord, I already got something playing in the background, whatever. But we're actually going to be talking about that here in just a moment. But I want to go on ahead first and foremost, shout out to the man that decided to come through today, Master System Marceau. What's going on, brother? How's it going? What's Canada like? Is it cold yet? You're freezing your ass off? What's happening?
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, thanks for inviting me here. Canada, I know it's cold, but right now, though, I'm in North Carolina, so...
No, you're not even up in Canada, man. I just seen all this Canada stuff on your profile, and and then I profiled you.
Yeah, absolutely. There goes my homeland here, but yeah, Canadian at heart. But right now, I'm in exile, So yeah, I'm not cold at all, and I don't regret that. I don't miss that at all.
Good stuff. So, welcome to the show. Hopefully, everybody up in the chat can welcome you here as well. Thanks to those that are first coming through to watch this right now. If this is your first time being here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this type of content, because we're just going to dig into his past and his future a little bit of gaming and whatnot. And plus, he's one of the best outrunners that I've ever seen play the game, and he's playing it on the classics. So like the games aren't as clean and flashy as you'll see some of these like newer renditions of like Outrun and stuff like that, like Outrun on like what was it, Outrun 2 for like the original Xbox and whatnot. Like they have those are a lot smoother than what I seen this man play. This man right here is disrespecting Outrun. But anyways, brother, go on ahead and let everybody know first and foremost where they can find you, see your content, and also holler at you if they want a game or something like that.
So I'm on YouTube, System Marceau. So the name is written there in the title. If you search for that, I'm also on Twitch. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook and Discord. So any of that. I mostly stream on Twitch. Once a week, I try to stream on YouTube as well. And my videos are posted on YouTube, yes.
That's what's up. Well, I'd like to say one more time, thank you for coming on. You didn't have to. You came on kind of short notice. Usually I have people scheduled like months in advance, but I had a slot open up, and I just so happened, like I had the slot open up, and then I went to watch NLG Next Level Gaming. I was just getting done with a long ass night of podcasting myself. I had 3 shows that actual day and was just tired as hell. Just wanted to listen to somebody else talk, because I feel like I talked my ass off. And lo and behold, I run into his podcast. He's just doing a nice little chill, just everybody just kind of chatting and whatnot. Nothing too crazy or whatever. And he ended up shouting out Master System Marceau right here and put his stuff on blast. And I like seeing stuff like that. Just a creator that's passionate about something specific or something that he really likes. And when he showed some of his Outrun, because he was talking about Outrun, he was showing off he was showing off his stuff essentially, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was being real flashy. Next level, he was doing his thing, and it was cool. But he was talking about Marceau, and he was just like this dude knows his Outrun and whatnot. And I went on ahead and I tried to throw my shade out there real quick. I was like, but did he play the Outrun and what was that game called? Yakuza? And he's like, oh yeah, he's played that too. And I was like, man, I need to get a hold of this dude. This dude's wild. This dude's a freaking maniac. So I was just like, I got to get him on here because if he's a true Sega fan, I want to hear what he has to say. I want to see where he came from and whatnot. So here we are today, and let's go on ahead and get into it. So the very first, like one of the first things I have everybody do when they come on the show is I ask them straight up, like, what was the first console that you ever like got into? And one of his was obviously the Master System. And you see, he has it in his name. I mean, obviously. But how about this joint? The Commodore 64. Bro, can you speak on this console? What was it? What did you do with it? Did you type and text your friends? I mean, wait a second. This is before the internet and everything like that. So let a brother know what's going on with this console right here. What did you play?
Yeah, I used to play a lot of games because we used to be able to copy games on the Commodore. So I barely had any games that were bought. And I mean, I didn't know any better. I was like 6 years old when I started playing on that. My dad had bought it for himself, brought it from the store. And I was like, what is that, Dad? It looks weird. And he told me, it's not for little children, it's for me. And he started playing some games on there. and it was like, what does it do? And it's like, oh, apparently it can do everything, you know. But we just have to figure out why. And then I was looking at him and I was like envious. And then I saw him type. He still made me try a game, but then he was like, "Don't turn it on. You won't know how to do that. Don't even try." But then he went to work.
Like, don't touch shit.
And I did turn it on, and I remember all the command lines because you had to type command lines to start the game. And so I started the game on my own, and when he came back from work, he was like, "How did you do that? How did you find out?" And but you know, when you're a kid and you really want to play something, you figure it out, right?
Yeah, he is
So,
just like, motherfucker, I was curious. like you got up in there, you're just like, screw it. Like I'm gonna figure this out. I remember those days being as a kid and just like, you know, somebody's like, don't push this button, and you just pacing back and forth, being like, I'm gonna push that button, but I'm gonna figure out how to do it to where they're proud of me instead of pissed off at me. So fantastic. So was that the very first, or was it all? Was it the Master System, which actually came into the household first?
The Commodore came first. The Master System hadn't been released yet at the time. I believe, yeah, like was a couple years after. But like, so it depends if you consider the Commodore 64 a console, more like a computer, because it's like in between, I would say. Because it's mainly for gaming that you own such a thing. And yeah, the games were already pretty good on it. I mean, they were amazing. Of course, the Commodore was super expensive too, so you know, it was like a good 8-bit device. And you can see a lot of the games that were on the 64, they were ported on the Master System and other consoles. NES Master System and TurboGrafx. So yeah, that was awesome.
That's what's up. I'm gonna shout out the chat real quick. FPS Plays Grand Pop. What's cracking? Thanks for coming through. A Cracked Lens 97. Thank you so much. I put that DM at you and whatnot that you were talking about just a little bit ago. Matt Likes Games, brother. Good to see you up in here. Smash JT. Good to see y'all up in the chat. Thank you so much for coming out and checking out the show. But let's continue on. So you were talking about, so obviously I sent you more questions and whatnot. The next one I was kind of wondering about was like the game that really lifted you up and made you absolutely just fall in love with gaming. Like maybe you enjoyed gaming, like most of us. Like when we all start as gamers, we enjoy gaming, we enjoy the convenience of it, but there's always that one damn game that like you just pick up and you're just like, all right. Like, I'm not going to bed tonight. Like I'm playing this joint right here. And for you, it was that OG, old school Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, indeed. But the 8-bit version, I do like the 16-bit version on the Genesis, but the Master System version, oh my, that was a banger. Yeah, I couldn't stop playing it.
What made it so much better on the the inferior console, essentially?
Yeah, so for me it's better because like first of all, the special stages are fun. On the Genesis, they're fun the first time, the second time, the third time. After that, you're like, I don't want to play these special stages anymore. I'm sure a lot of people that played Sonic on the Genesis can relate to that. But on the Master System, the special stages are optional, but they're still fun. And the Chaos Emeralds are just in the wild, so you just have to find them in the wild. The game is fast. Of course, it's fast on Genesis too, but I think it's even faster on the Master System. And the graphics are amazing. The music is just. I do not have anything negative to say about this game at all. Like, at all.
I can tell you look like you're in your feels a little bit about it. It's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good. All right. So with that being said, like, so you move on from that. Obviously, you were really digging gaming at that point. So we all know what happens after you like throw down on your favorite game for so long. You beat the living hell out of it. It's finally time to move on. You finally got to the point where you're just like, I can still play this. I can still enjoy it, but I don't exactly get enough from this anymore. What was the next jump forward from Sonic?
Well, Sonic has been on every system, so I think as a platformer, I have to admit, when I saw the first images of Super Mario 64, I was amazed, and I went on a trip to England at the time, and it was on at an HMV store. You could try it out, and I fell in love with Mario 64. So I think at the time that was the next best thing, and I got a Nintendo 64 too back then. Yeah, I think that would have been the next step, because like the Genesis, yeah, was for sure better looking games and all, but I think gameplay wise, it's not really an improvement. I think the real revolution after that was Nintendo 64 and its 3D graphics. I don't know if that answers your question. Or if I went off track.
No, you didn't go off track, because this is just your life. So like if you if you jumped from, you know, playing a bunch of different Sega games, and then the next like wow moment was the Nintendo 64 with, you know, Mario 64, and you know the graphics, the music that they had inside of a cartridge, the ability to just like figure out things on your own in a 3D world, compared to in the previous Mario games, you just went right. you just found your way to keep going right. But in the in 64, it was like you literally had to like visit specific parts of the map correctly to be able to press on. So very cool. Yeah. That was mesmerizing to a lot of people. I can totally agree with that. But going back to the Sega real quick, I'm kind of curious. Did you ever like get the pieces together to like put that whole Genesis and, you know, the Tower of Power together?
Yeah, no, I did not have the full Tower of Power, but I have the Sega CD though. I have a lot of games on that. So actually, that might have been the next best thing, because it was also amazing, the music and everything. I loved my Sega CD to death. But I did not have the 32X back then, and you know, like I was young, my parents were paying for whatever they could buy me, you know, and I was kind of spoiled, because not everybody had a Sega CD at the time. You know, so,
No, Sega CD during that time was like you had it going on in gaming. If you had a Sega CD, you were just like, like this bro right here is doing more than enough. Like the Sega was already enough. The Nintendo, the Super Nintendo by itself was enough. But when you showed up to people's houses and they had the Super Nintendo with like the Game Boy player, or like the fighting sticks or whatnot, or you show up to a bro's house and he has like the Sega Genesis with the 4 ports in the front, trying to play 4-player games, or the Sega CD attached to it, or a 32X, it was just like just having one of those extra pieces meant that this person gives a damn. You know what I'm saying? Like he is gaming. But moving from Sega in the 64, so Mario was like the next big thing for you. Did PlayStation come in or out of your life throughout any of this time? Because that was around the 64 time.
Yeah, so the PlayStation, at first when it came out, I did play it at my cousin's house a lot, but I did not own one at the time. I was kind of pissed off with Sony back then for kind of killing Sega.
Oh.
So
Oh, let's not
so
do
yeah,
this.
yeah.
You're
Well,
gonna,
back
you're gonna hit
then,
me
back
right in the
then.
heart. You're gonna hit me right in the heart.
No,
But all right.
yeah, no. Now after the fact, now I bought a PS1, I bought a PS2, PS3. I have a PS3 Fat, PS3 Slim. I also have a PS4 Pro with like 400 games on there or something. But at the time, I was kind of upset for a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, yeah, always been
So-
on my Sega consoles. Yeah.
So you were rocking with the PlayStation, but it just took you a little bit to get into it due to
Yeah.
the whole Sega and Sony fiasco. So were you in the midst of the fiasco during the Saturn era, or did it bother you more in the Dreamcast era?
I'm more in the Dreamcast era. I did not get a Saturn back then, and again, I wanted one, but I'd gotten a new computer too, so like I had to choose. I wasn't the one paying the bills. But then with the Dreamcast, yeah, then it bothered me more because like there were so many awesome games on the Dreamcast. For me, that's a completely underrated console. If you like shooters, for example, you can't go around the Dreamcast. If you like fighters, and like the Sonic games, there's Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 there. Like people don't realize how good those games were. For me, Sonic Adventure 1 is still the best 3D Sonic ever made. So
Really? Are you excited for Frontiers though? I mean, that's just right around the corner.
yeah, well, it's kind of one of the answers of your questions, I think. You wanted
Okay,
to
so
ask,
we'll get back to
because
that.
yeah, because we can get back to it because I'm like in the middle of like I'm half excited, half not.
I'll tell you flat out, I'm excited for it. I just want to see, like, I mean, obviously, this is the future compared to where Sonic came from a long time ago. If you're going to go on ahead and give him, the 2022, rundown and whatnot, all I ask is that you make him fast, make him be able to kick some ass, and make it make sense.
Yeah.
So I don't want him pulling out, I don't want him pulling out the glizzy. I don't want him pulling out a gun like Shadow or something like that. Like I want him just like literally using his capabilities to the best and like making speed the forefront of it. So if they do that, that'll be fine to me. But I'm sure you look at it from like 5 different other views than I look at it, because you're a lot deeper into Sonic. I can tell you are than I am. So you have a lot more experience. You have a lot more lore that you know and in history with it and whatnot. But yeah, as I said, we'll get back to that one a little bit later.
Yeah.
So I see in your profile that like when I look up like the different like consoles and stuff like that you have on there, you threw on Xbox on there as one of the consoles that you play on. I want to know, like, when did that start for you? Like, when did you actually first get into Xbox? Because you already kind of described how you got into Sony. You described how you got into Sega, Nintendo a little bit. But how'd you get into Microsoft Xbox?
I got into Xbox when I saw the very, very, very first trailer for Halo 1. And I think it wasn't, when they released that, it was not even supposed to go to Xbox. But I got immediately hooked by it. And then I got an Xbox, an OG Xbox to play it. Fell in love with Halo. I would say up to Halo Infinite, I was a huge Halo fan. Halo Infinite, not so much. I have tons of complaint about it, but yeah, I mean that's the franchise that hooked me. I also loved Gears of War. They didn't have a lot of exclusive at Xbox, but they had really good ones. Now they're letting them down a little bit, which is disappointing. But I think the ecosystem is nice and it's backwards compatible, which I really, really, really like.
I bet you do.
Yeah, because I can. That's the console I can play the most Sonic games on. It's stupid like that, but like I can play like 30 Sonic games on my Xbox, So I like that kind of thing. I think they're doing a pretty good job these days. But yeah, it started with mostly with Halo, and I think on the OG Xbox, that's also an underrated console. There were so many good games on that console. People don't realize how many games were released for the OG Xbox.
So many people also took advantage of the internal storage of that thing. That was, to me, that was the most. That and the music were the two most underrated things on that console that people just looked over. And I was just like, dude, how don't you want your own music? How do you not want to like not deal with a memory card, especially if you're not, I mean, because let's be real, how many of us was whipping out our PlayStation 2 memory cards and going over to our friend's house? It was like once every like 3 months that you did that. And if you did that often, like, I'm proud of you, but you're one of very few that ever took your memory cards out of the console and ran around with it. Having the internal memory was so clutch, and as a kid, it felt like you had endless memory because that 50,000 blocks, I don't even know what that meant. But it never got full.
I think it was a 8 gigabyte hard drive, which at the time was huge.
Stupid.
So
that's bigger than my computer's hard drive then.
And also, so the games were better looking on Xbox than on PS2 by a lot, like almost twice as good. You had Xbox Live to play online. I love the controller as well with the left thumbstick, above it.
Oh, here we go talking about thumbsticks now. There's gonna be somebody in the chat that says, "Oh, it's in the right or in the wrong place." There's always somebody.
I know plenty of people that prefer the PlayStation one because they're used to it. But me personally, I like better that one. I mean, like if I wanted to play NHL, I love to play NHL. Back then, it looked way better on the Xbox and on the PlayStation. All those multiplats. So it was a underdog back then, but I really loved it.
See, I already knew it. Somebody, see, smart man, thumbstick in the right place. There they go. So yep, you got him. You got him. Anyways, that's fantastic.
I mean,
oh, stop it. Get that out of here. That's fantastic. Oh, man. All right. We're going to keep it moving. So Xbox was really big during throughout the rest of gaming up to this point. Now you're really digging the backwards compatibility. Did you end up getting a PlayStation 4?
Yeah, so I own a PlayStation 4 Pro, and actually I think these days, and there I might disappoint the Xbox fanboys, but I think the better games are on the PlayStation. I love Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West, the Uncharted games, Death Stranding. Like, there's games. My favorite, I'd say, modern games right now are on PlayStation side. So, of course, I own a PlayStation for that reason.
Okay. Yeah. And then with that being said, do you how much faith do you have with Xbox in the upcoming future? So now let's talk about this generation. So how do you feel about this generation so far? And do you and answer the question I just asked you? Like, do you have the faith that they are going to bring some really good IPs over sooner than later?
I think they will. Like you have Starfield coming. Just that game is I feel is going to be amazing. I know a lot of people that are really looking forward to it.
I'm hyped.
Yeah. There's a huge catalog. I know they're working on like 50. Like I'm exaggerating maybe, but like it looks like 50 different exclusive games. They have so many studios. So hopefully some of them will be good. And I mean, if they're not, they're on Game Pass too most of the time. So if not all of the time, so it's not the end of the world. And I think they're smart by doing that. I think they have the right business model right now. I think Sony should follow them sooner rather than later if they don't want to be left behind.
Oh snap! You're saying Sony getting left behind? Chill out. Like,
I'm not saying they are.
Do you really think that's a possibility that Sony can get left behind?
Absolutely. Microsoft was leaving Sony behind before. Now they got left behind when the Xbox One got released. But if they stay, if they start to sleep by starting to focus on live service games, which I think is what Jim Ryan wants, I don't think that's the right call. Their fan base love their narrative game, which they should. This was also I play on my PlayStation. But if they're not careful, I don't know when they have Call of Duty and and all the Activision Blizzard games, if that deal goes through, the casuals are not gonna care. I know so many people that have a console just to play Call of Duty. They don't play anything else. They just play Call of Duty. So I mean, it's not that I want them to be left behind, but if they don't keep up with the times, it's the same thing I told my cable company Spectrum. They're like, "Why are you leaving us for Google Fiber? Like, you guys are not moving on with the times. Copper internet is done. It's fading all the time. It's poor upload. Like, evolve with the times. If they don't keep up." The same with the cloud. Microsoft has its cloud service that's doing really good. And Sony and Nintendo don't seem to care that much about it. Nintendo doesn't even have a good online service, So Microsoft is taking the right decision, these days. I feel my personal opinion. If you guys disagree, that's fine.
I feel like, long story short, you're just saying,
"Now, darkness, the tables are turned. Do with him whatever you like."
like you're just literally saying Xboxes came out of their crawl space and they're actually doing something right now, and Sony needs to like not that they like should be super duper worried, more or less of just they need to make sure that they're acting accordingly in these moments, because the tables can turn fast. We've seen it happen with the PS3 360 generation. We also seen it happen with the Xbox One PS4 generation, as you just got done talking about. So definitely really possible for things to shift around, especially with this whole Call of Duty thing. I understand there's that whole like Activision Blizzard mess and whatnot, but the thing is what's really wild is that you're starting to see certain sales go off, like there's a Target sale supposedly where they're selling Xbox Series S's bundled in with Call of Duty for $300 for like the MSRP price for a Series S, which says a lot to what you just got done saying, which I know a whole lot of people that only play Call of Duty. Well, there's also a whole lot of people that don't care about 4K, don't care about all this other like crazy jargon. They just want the console. Hey, can I download it to this? Okay. Oh, this isn't that bad. This actually goes up, 1080, sure, 1440, sure, but it does go up to 120. So, I mean, I feel like I mean, including my cousin, he has a big old 4K TV, like I want to say like a 80-inch or something wild. And I was like, "Yo, bro, you should get a Series X." And he's like, "Nah, man, I'm just gonna get the Series S. This thing's small and I only play games every once in a while. I play he plays Call of Duty, Rocket League, stuff like that. Like a lot of in and out type of games. You hop on for a half hour to an hour and then you're done for the night. That's where that can really, show off and flex a little bit. But anyways, let's keep going. As for talking about this generation, I want to know like what you think PlayStation's doing right this generation and where you feel like they're kind of looking a little iffy.
Yeah, well, again, their narrative-driven games are still pretty good. So they have unnerved the studios, it seems, which is thank God, because if they did that, I don't know what would be happening. But yeah, they're not taking care of their what's it called, PS Plus Premium, Ultra, whatever.
Yeah,
service. You know,
we call it Triple P.
Back...
PS Plus Premium, Triple P.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's. I haven't subscribed to that. I wanted to. Honestly, I was going to, because there's plenty of PS1, PS2 games I wanted to play. But there's only the shitty games on there. Let's be honest. It's like where their PlayStation Classic. I bought that too, but like the games on there like are the good ones, except one or two. So they don't seem to care that much about their back catalog, and yeah, live service wise, I think they're behind. Which I don't really care. I don't enjoy live service games, but I mean for the casuals, you gotta have them. But if they want to make them out of scratch, though, it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take. I don't know if they can pull it off. Because you gotta have a multi-platform game. Yeah. So we'll see. I think they got a lot of work to do for sure. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be Jim Ryan,
Yeah, I mean he has a lot of rough decisions to make that Sean Layden didn't really have to deal with. He kind of skated out of there right in time. And he went to and then he went to the most like rich like third party platform of them all with Tencent now. So that is really freaking insane. Especially I mean it's just ironic because you hear PlayStation saying like we don't like that whole money hat idea. Meanwhile, their last leader went to the biggest money hatter of all time.
Yeah.
So it was just the irony seemed really kind of interesting right there. But so where do you feel Nintendo is kind of at? So, I mean, obviously we got, Xbox, you said they're doing fairly well. They need to pick it up on the games. You said PlayStation's doing fairly well. They just need to adjust with the times, but their games are fantastic. Where do you feel PlayStation? And then I'm actually going to put a dash on there and put PC gaming as well. Because PC gaming, yeah, it's always been a thing. But like the closer these consoles get to PC, the more you start to see the shift in people saying, you know what, screw it. I'm just, I'm going out and I'm going to spend $3,000 on a computer.
It's kind of exactly what I did last week. I just bought a brand new state-of-the-art computer. So
Nailed it.
So yeah. Yeah. And before that, I just got if you can recognize that, what that is.
Logitech?
No, it's not.
It's not? I don't know.
I'll take it out so that maybe you can see what it is.
Oh, Steam Deck. Steam Deck. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got that mixed up hard. But oh my goodness, so you've been spending some money.
Yeah. Now I think I'm done for spending for a while, but
I
I
think you're
decided to
good.
upgrade.
Maybe buy a couple
Yeah.
games, but if your Steam library is already looking good, then you're just gonna be kicking
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, my Steam library is huge. I buy everything when it's on sale. You know, most games are usually 75% off. Every once in a while, I buy them for my wish list when I see that. And yeah, my list is huge. And I just tried Halo Infinite the other day on my PC, and it's just the graphics are something. I have to say. I have to
Something
admit
good or
that, wow.
something mid?
Oh, good. It's just I don't know how it could be better. It's just different than on my Xbox One X. Of course, I don't have a Series X, but I don't see the point of the new gen. But
PlayStation or Xbox?
I'm still on PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. I don't see the point of jumping to the next gen personally.
Whoa! We've been talking about all this stuff, and I think we should talk about this because I'm kind of curious. Like, why do you think that this gen is pointless for the consoles, the home consoles?
Well, because you just have like a little bit more frame rate for the games. Like if I play the Infinite series, I'm sure it's gonna be a little bit better. But I mean, I can play it on my One X, and if I want the series experience, I can just stream it via the cloud. So I don't really need a series. There's barely any exclusives on next gen. I mean, what is there? That's really exclusive. There's like 2 games on Xbox, and there's like what's it called, Returnal on PS5, and what? Because I bought Horizon Forbidden West, for example. I played on PS4 Pro. It's almost the same thing. You know what I mean?
Oh man, this man right here is messy.
So, and also like you have SSD. You have to have SSD drives, which are tiny, and you have to uninstall, reinstall games all the time, which I don't do on my. For example, on my One X, I have an 8 terabyte external hard drive plugged to it, so I never have to to download anything. Everything's always installed. You know, so just convenient. It's just convenient. And I think this new gen, I think they jumped the gun too fast with those SSD drives. You don't have any storage. And I'd rather than, if I don't have storage, I'd rather play with the cloud. I'd rather go cloud gaming, honestly.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Man, you have some interesting takes. I'll give you that one, but I gotta ask, like, and I feel like this kind of pertains to the questions that we kind of just got done going over. But like, obviously, I get it for Xbox for those that are just willing to play, you know, in their computer chair at their PC. Sure, Xbox is it. But Sony seems to want to stagger, or at least they say, for right now. How do you feel as somebody, you know, as a gamer, obviously, that, hey, you might not be able to play God of War for like let's take the PS4 out of the question, all right? Because I understand God of War is coming to PS4 as well. First of all, are you playing God of War on PS4?
Yes, I played the God of War 2018.
No, the new one.
The new one, I will be playing it too, yes. Yeah, on PS4, yeah.
Okay, so let's take the PS4 out of the question. So let's say like some new games, like for instance, like Horizon Forbidden West, that hasn't came out to PC yet. And wait, that is on PS4 as well, so can't use that one. But how about like something like Ratchet and Clank or something? Let's say that's just going to be next gen, or what now is current gen only. So some of these games, you know what I'm trying to say. Some of these games coming down the line are not going to be supported on the PS4, but they may take some time to come to the PC. Where are you at on that? Are you willing to wait, or are you going to go on ahead and purchase yourself a PS5 if they do that for the entire generation? So let's say 7 years. So every game is staggered for a year, to 2 years?
So I might wait. Yes and no. It depends. If that's a game like God of War Ragnarok, which I think will be good, but I'm not like the most hyped for it. But if so, for that I might wait. I might wait until it comes out on PC, or until the mid-gen refresh, until the PS5 Pro, or if it's on Xbox, the Series X Pro, whatever it's called. But if, for example, Death Stranding came tomorrow, and it's exclusive on the PS5, Death Stranding 2, I mean, and it's exclusive on the PS5, that could force me into buying a PS5 tomorrow. But that would have to be a game that I cannot wait a year to play, because I have a huge backlog, and I don't mind waiting, honestly. Like, I've got like hundreds of games in my backlog. If it's not really a game that I'm a huge fan of, I'm gonna wait. I don't see the point of buying a next gen console now.
Okay. So what I guess what I'm wondering as well is, now that you got your new PC, is the Xbox Series console just out of the question now?
Yeah. No, it's not. If there is again a huge exclusive that I can't wait.
Well, but it'll be on PC though. But like all these first party games from Xbox are going to Game Pass, and it's gonna be on PC Pass as well. So I'm just asking, with that being there already, is there any reason for you to want to get a Series console, like, at all?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I still like sitting in front of the TV as well, not in my room here, and just being in the living room. And I also have some friends that have only Xbox, and it's a different ecosystem. That it's a first world luxury here. I realize that, but like those consoles are not really expensive for my budget anyway. Again, first world. So if I see a good game that comes to Xbox, even if it's on PC, I still probably would play it on Series if I had the choice. Just cause, I mean, it's a luxury. I realize that, but I will say it's a tough question you're asking me, because now that I just got this new PC, my opinion is changing day after day. Like I said, I just tried Halo Infinite on it, and I don't know if I want to go back to my Xbox to play Halo Infinite, to be honest.
Well, especially a 1X. I mean, it's literally like zero competition right there.
Yeah.
That's a lot, because before you didn't tell me that you didn't have a Series console. I just assumed you had the Series and you had just got your PC. But knowing that you don't have a Series console and you played Halo Infinite on PC, I mean, to me that's just like no-brainer right there. But I'm interested to see, how you develop coming forward with all these different things happening within the game industry. But anyways, moving a little bit forward, now I really want to get into like your content creation and like what actually got you into that in the first place, because as you put it, you've been playing video games since like Commodore 64, and then on to the Master System, Genesis, and so forth. But I'm assuming that you weren't out there, hanging out with Crash Bandicoot making, content and stuff like that in front of Nintendo or anything like that. You weren't doing any kind of content creation with Sonic or any of them boys back then, or like you weren't even probably recording your gameplay at all.
No.
When actually did you, like, what console generation would you say you actually started doing this content creation, and what actually motivated you to get into it?
So content creation for me is not something I've been doing for a long time. And I don't know if you mean about the speed running in particular. But that's something that actually the person who's responsible for that is here in chat, a Canadian gamer.
Okay.
He gave me the tip that there was a community that it was possible to do that. It was easy thing to do, and I had a YouTube channel, so I didn't even think about it. But I was watching a lot of speedrunning on Twitch already at the time. I've been watching that for years. The Games Done Quick event. I don't know if you know about that, but so that's always been an interest. But I never thought of doing it myself, and so it's kind of recently that I started doing that. But I didn't start my channel with speedrunning either. So it was more to share my thoughts on the gaming industry, and started with an unboxing at first, and a video defending a friend who was being blasted on his channel. So that's how it started. Yeah. If I answered your question.
No, you're good. So then what actually led you to, because I mean, you said you did an unboxing. What was the unboxing for?
Yeah, it was the Sega Astro City Mini. It's a little arcade device that I imported from Japan. And that device is amazing. It has plenty of Sega arcade games. The stick is amazing, the buttons, everything. So it looks really awesome. So I started with that. I just wanted to show it to my friends at the time, and it was not even on this YouTube channel. It was on my private account that I shared it.
Oh wow!
But yeah. Then I thought of creating a channel account after that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a professional or anything like that. It's just a hobby I developed.
Gotcha. So then, when you made it, when you made your like more creative account or whatnot, did you start that one off with speed running, or was that something else at that point?
Yeah, so the very first video was supposed to be my take on some gaming news back then. I don't remember what, but I got cut short and made a video, to some sort of drama video, which I try not to do anymore. But about a friend of mine who was getting doxxed and stuff like that, So I was just calling some people out. Yeah, it's not a proud moment. It's not how I should have started it, but I'm there for my friends. Yeah, yeah. When I can help some people that are in trouble, I try to help my friends. So yeah, I got a lot of views. People heard me. I might have done something good. I don't know. I tried.
So then, what was it always Outrun that you started out? Because I mean, obviously, the speed running part on Outrun is what caught me. But was there other games that you were speed running as well?
Yeah, so I speedrun some Sonic games on the Master System. I have to do Sonic 1 this week. I haven't done the first one yet, ironically, but I was trying to do it, right. I've done a lot of racing games, and it's been mostly racing games that I've done. Chase HQ, Virtua Racing, which Canadian gamer here in chat is better than me at. All the Outrun games, Super Hang On, Super Chase HQ, Road Rash. You mentioned Road Rash earlier. I did a few runs of those as well.
That was my
it's super.
Right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's super fun, I could play these games alone, or I just record them and try to beat the fastest laps. you know, and get on the leaderboard. So might as well do that.
So that was actually my next thing is like, so I seen like on your profile and whatnot that like you got third best outrunner worldwide, correct?
Yeah, for Outrun on the Genesis and on the Mass System, I'm third best. Yeah.
In the world, y'all, which is wild. So I want to know how the hell you got in contact with somebody to say, yo, I'm going after this. This is mine. I'm going after this record. Like, how do you get somebody to notice something like that? And how do you like get yourself engulfed in the community like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just you have to see these times online on speedrun.com. That's the website. And you try to go for it, and it takes some time. You don't do that on your first night of attempting it, of course. Speedrunning, like if you want to be first for example, Sonic 1 on the Mass System, it's going to take you maybe a year of playing that game every week, multiple times a week, you know.
Oh my God.
Over and over and over. Yeah, so it takes a lot of attempts.
So pause real quick. So this outrun, you know, run that you did, you were trying to like the last video I think I watched, it felt like you were trying to beat your last score and get to silver, which is the person that was in second place, because you're third place in the world, right, as of where you stand right now.
Yeah.
So do you do like training beforehand, and like how long is like this training? Is it like a couple of days? And I'm talking about like where you're at now. See, so you're seasoned now. You already know. You have a good mindset of what's going to happen when you turn on the game. You're not coming in cold. This isn't your first run. This is a whole lot of runs through. So like, if I were to tell you, yo, you got next month, or actually, let me go on ahead and say, all right, in February, there's going to be an outrun tournament. I need you to get ready to at least like to at least, you know, podium.
Yeah.
When would you start training if this event was February 1st?
And that's something that might happen soon, by the way. We're trying to get the game on Games Done Quick, which is the biggest speedrunning event in the world. And like, if we're going for an all stages run of Outrun, you have to start training like now for February. You have to, if you want a chance of winning it, you know, like you have to play it every day.
You can only beat the game so fast. Like at some point, there's like if the computer were to generate how fast you can actually do it and be 100% perfect, like, how do you train your mind to know like this car is going to be there, or is it even like that? Is it always randomized, or it is so it's always randomized?
So that's an excellent question, actually, because it depends which Outrun game. Outrun 3D, for example, is barely randomized, a little bit, but not much. Outrun on the Genesis, though, is completely randomized. So, and the RNG, as we call it, for random number generator. So the traffic basically that gets generated is really bad. So it always gets in the way when you don't want it. And so the thing is, you can play the game perfect, even if you're a computer. You can't, 9 times out of 10, you cannot get the best time that you want. Even I would say 99 times out of 20, because you're gonna have traffic at the wrong place at the wrong time to slow you down. So you have to start over. And then you have to wait for the next attempt where the traffic is gonna play nice to you. And you can't do any mistake during that run where the traffic is nice. So,
well, how the hell do you even know when the traffic's gonna be nice, or like how do you? So this goes back to my first question. How the hell do you train for this if it's always at random?
Yeah. You just have to train to like be best you can playing around the traffic that you have. If it's a race live, like might happen soon. I mean soon, maybe within a year or something. We hope. But yeah, you're gonna have to be consistent for all 5 goals. So there's a lot of consistency there that can play in your favor if you're good. But if it's just one goal, then it would be very like it could be also the winner could be random because you don't know who's gonna get the best traffic, and that could be anybody, you know. So you can't really prepare for that. You have to just know when to go around and how, because also you have to know that sometimes you have bad traffic, but if you're really good and really tight, you can avoid it and still be on pace. But you have to squeeze in some cars, and it's really not easy. You know. So the better you are, the more chances you give yourself, even if the traffic is bad, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's wild. Well, good luck to you on whichever upcoming event that you guys are planning and whatnot. Good luck to you on that. And wow, I mean, that's an interesting game to be like one of the best at in the world, because it's not the most pleasing on your eyes at all times. I watched you do that last run where you beat your previous goal, and I was just like, man, like you got to train your eyes for something like that, because that thing is wild. But anyways, moving on. So now you're into like doing speed running. You also do a podcast once a month, you said earlier as well. So you're chugging along fairly well, would you say, or are you trying to expand and get bigger at all?
No, I'm really happy where I am right now. I'm having fun tonight. I'm having fun with my podcast with Ghanaian Gamer here in chat. Shout out to him as well. He's got a great channel as well. And I'm, living my hobby, playing my games. And it's weird to me that people seem to like all of that, because I'm getting more and more subscribers all the time. But I'm not trying to expand. If I do, I do. But it's really not what I'm trying to do. I did get a lot more subs, like big boosts when I did some gaming related video where I talked about like rants about some games and stuff like that. But I'm not even doing it anymore these days, because I just do what I want. You know, it's not a job, so I do what I do what I like. If people like it, good. They're welcome to the channel. If they don't, they're free to move on to the next one.
Well, there you guys have it. That's Master System Marceau. He has nothing to lose, so he's just throwing it out there. He's just letting y'all know how he feels and keeping it moving. Doesn't really give a damn. It's just for fun at the end of the day for him. He's having a good time out here. So I want you to tell me the most memorable moment that you've ever had in gaming in general.
The worst moment I've had.
Most memorable, like not. Well, I mean, if the most memorable is the worst thing that's happened, then go on ahead. By God, say what you got to say.
No, memorable, I would say, was beating Master Sega at a mall during competition back in the early 90s. I had to beat him at Sonic 2 on the first level, and then got qualified for the next round. And there was a Jurassic Park, which I almost won, and would have won a lot of money back then. but I was first and everything. And then at the last jump before reaching the end goal, I fell in the last hole. And well, didn't get anything.
Oh,
But
that's a sad ass moment.
but yeah. And that's what happens to me a lot to with speedrunning. You know, I have a good run, and last turn or last boss at Sonic or whatever, you know, you crash or you die, and you have to try again. But yeah, at the time, you know, in real life, beating Master Sega, that was pretty cool. I can proudly say that I beat Master Sega.
Yeah, you are proud when you say that. I could tell. So, I mean, that's a hell of a memorable moment. But what would you say is a genre of games that you like don't really like, or better yet, something that you would kind of walk by, be like the last thing that you see at the store?
Yeah. The live service games, definitely, like games like Destiny 2, you know, Fortnite, stuff like that. I will play them if like some friends invite me, and you know, we're together chatting or something like that. But like I they give me a urticaire, as we say in French. They give me zits, you know. That's why I have zits on my face.
Oh my god. All right, sure. Oh, all right, and then what are a few games that you are or that you have loved in the past year? So it doesn't have to be like games that have came out in the past year, just what you've been playing.
Yeah, so I've been playing this year that I really loved was TMNT Shredder's Revenge. I loved playing that. Yeah. Finished that on all platforms, I believe. And Horizon Forbidden West, I still haven't finished it. But I really do love that game. I need to take the time to finish it at some point. I've been saying that for 6 months, but I really need to. And
why is it that everyone that I talk to that says they love that game still hasn't finished it?
Yeah, me is
That's
it's just because of the speed running that I've been doing. I believe. Otherwise, I think I would have already finished it because I was really deep into it at some point. But yeah, it's a game that if you haven't been into the first one real hard like I have, I mean, it's just you're grinding and grinding and grinding. It's not that fun in that sense. Me, I just like it the best for its narrative aspect. I really love the story of Horizon, and the game, the game is still pretty good. I love the gameplay, but there's too much grinding in there. I will admit. So I think that's why people have a problem with it. And I would say the same about God of War, by the way. I'm sorry, but I love the narrative aspect. I think it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous game.
Absolutely.
But yeah, but the grinding at some point, because I completed it, I platinumed it. You have to go back in the hallways and so many times and go around to grind to get the best gear to beat the Valkyries at the end. I'm too old for grinding like that. It's I'd rather grind on an old 8-bit game because it's fun, but like just grinding to upgrade my gear, no. It's just I don't like that too much anymore. So
right.
These are two. You asked three.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I would say, of course, Outrun. We just talked about it. Yeah, and you asked my game of the year, right?
Yeah.
The game of the year would be, Shredder's Revenge.
Shredder's
and
Revenge.
actually,
It was a fire game, though.
Yeah, I would say / Trek to Yomi.
Oh, okay.
Yomi was pretty good.
I haven't heard anybody bring that one up. That actually was a really good game. I enjoyed that. I wouldn't say it was my game of the year by any means, but like it was a damn good game, good story. The fighting was different than a lot. The parrying was different than a lot of other games as well. But the story was fantastic. I loved that film grain aspect that they went with it, as well as just like the darkness that they put into that game, the sadness. You really kind of felt that within the game, so it was really good. I had a good time beating that one. But now I want you to list. You can list one or you can list a few, but games that you just like. What's a few games that you just got or purchased and was like, man, damn it, got me. Like I thought this was gonna be good, but it's ass.
Let me think for a second here. Games that I thought were well. Actually, I kind of just mentioned it just before. God of War. I have to praise for the fact the narrative aspect is kind of okay. The graphics are really gorgeous. They are. But the game itself, I do not feel like I had a good experience with it. And I know people are gonna hate me for saying that. But and because I played the first game, I want to know what's gonna happen, so I will play Ragnarok 2. But like I'm not I prefer the old God of War than this new one. I'm not a fan of how they approached it personally.
So is it just like the gameplay itself that you don't like the fighting of the gameplay, or is it just like the repetitiveness of it, or like what is it like in particular that you don't like about the last God of War compared to like if you were to compare them 1-to-1 with like God of War 2 or something?
So I think there's less gore, but that's not really the problem. So the grindy aspect of it, I mentioned that. The fighting, I was not a fan of either. It's always with the axe. This is kind of the only thing. And playing with your son as a turret, a mobile turret, basically. I think it's very repetitive. I was not a fan of the combat. And just going back in the hallways all the time. It's not an open world. It's just, and not that I'm a fan of open world, but like it's just hallways where you get lost all the time. It's just a maze, you know. I was not a fan compared to the old ones where you have a straight line to follow, basically, and it's just chaos around you. Where here you just walk in woods and nothing happens until you find an enemy, but you walk and you walk and you walk and you walk and you look at the map and you walk and you look at the map and you walk and you look at I was not a fan. I was not a fan. I know PlayStation fanboys will get mad, but I mean I gotta call a spade,
The only so I didn't go for the platinum, so I didn't have to sweat it out like you did. Like, so you went for the platinum, so you sweated it out. You really got the whole like going back and forth, and you understand getting tired of that much more than I do. But the one thing I did get tired of in that game is riding in that damn boat. I hated it.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
I hated riding in that boat, man. That boat sucked. It turned like ass. It was just and docking it. Like I just didn't like it.
No, my favorite part I will say was when you go to Helheim. So when you go in hell, basically, I think that was awesome. But that's a very short sequence. That's the only thing I remember. That and fighting the Valkyries at the end. That was cool. The Valkyries were really challenging, and that was cool. The grinding to be able to beat them was not cool, because if you don't go there with your full gear, forget it. You're gonna die. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm not a fan of the new God of War, even though I play it and I will play the new one.
Are you gonna platinum the new one too? Do you have
Probably,
plans to do it?
Probably if I find time, I will probably do it. Yeah.
So he's gonna go through the struggle again. He said he's ready. All right. So now I want, and this is gonna be interesting coming from a person like you because you have just so much history and old games to new games. But I want you to tell me, and it doesn't have to be anything new as of right now. So you can go back in the day if you want. But what is your favorite studio, and what game best represents that studio?
I kind of mentioned it earlier, so maybe I should mention my second best, because my favorite studio is, of course, Sonic Team, and the best game, Sonic Adventure 1. Because they didn't do the Master System game, so I can't say that. It was third-party developers that did the Master System versions. So for me, Sonic Team was best with Sonic Adventure 1. But like, if I don't mention that, I would say Kojima Productions with Death Stranding would be
wow. So you're a Kojima stan, but hold on. Is it specifically just because of Death Stranding, or do you have some ties in with Metal Gear?
No, I liked Metal Gear, like most people, I think. But really, Death Stranding is the one game that it is my favorite game of all time.
Oh, crap.
Next,
Did you build the whole highway?
Yeah. yeah.
You're getting them thumbs up.
yeah.
I mean, I thought that game was phenomenal. I was one of those guys, and I'll say it right here live on my channel. I was dog shitting on that game when I first seen it, because I was just like, the hell, you just running around, you just walking. I don't want to play no walking simulator. Meanwhile, I'm over here playing like Plague Tale Innocence and shit like that. but like I'm not playing no walking simulator. This game is boring. Like at least in Plague Tale you could throw like a slingshot and whatnot. What are you doing in this game? And then like I put a little bit of time into it, and I was like, all right, it's not as bad as I thought. And then I stopped playing it. And this is like, because I purchased it for my PS5 and I was playing it on there. Then it came out to then it came out on Game Pass, and I was like, you know what? I want to see my 3080 put in some work. Like I want to like see what this game looks like if you like just max it out on everything, right? Because I mean, obviously the PS5 is cool. The haptic features are dope. Yes, they're nice. I like them, but at the same time, it's like, even when like A Plague Tale, the new one, came out for Series X, they have like a 30 frame per second mode and then like a 41 if you have 120. I was like, you know what? Why go through all the stress of even thinking about that? Why don't I just download it on my PC and just get crazy good frames and have it running at a higher fidelity at the same time? So I did that, but like I was saying, for Death Stranding, I did that as well, and it was supposed to be a play test. It was just supposed to be like me just playing it for a little bit, and my plan was I'm going to catch up to where I was at on PlayStation, where I was at on the PlayStation was right before you go over the hill to like the windy area at the beginning of the game, So, so I played up until I got to that spot, and I just couldn't stop. because before I was playing it in a party chat. So when I was playing it with other people and I was walking and I got like towards that windy area I was talking about, I was in a party chat, so I wasn't listening to the story. I had no idea really what was going on. I shut everything off. I shut everybody out. I turned on that game on my PC. And like I played it, like I'm not even kidding, like for like 4 hours straight. And I was like, man, this story is goated. This is a great freaking story. And then I was like, wait, you can get guns? Like I didn't know you could get out the pew pew and start, tackling enemies and, getting them all tangled up and whatnot. And then I think I got actually like completely addicted when I took out my first BT. When I took out my first BT, I was like, all right, nobody can touch me anymore. I'm good.
No, I also have so many good things to say about this game, and yeah, if you mentioned the combat, it's so inventive. I mean, it's never been seen before, where you have to use your pee, your blood, like, you know, you have all these mechanics that you don't have in any other game. When you connect, and I think people that played it for a few hours don't realize, but like, the more connection you have between your inhabitants, the more structures you have that are built, the easier it is for you to navigate around. Every time you do something, it makes your life easier in the game. You rebuild the country, and by doing that, you have everybody else from all over the world helping you, and you help them. It's just amazing, gameplay wise and narrative wise. I think it's the best story I've ever seen in any game. Kudos to Kojima. I know some people bash on that game, but it has a public. Yeah, yeah, you have to give it a chance, you know, and listen to the story. If people that really don't care for stories, maybe will have a hard time, you know, even though you can still like it for the gameplay aspect. But if you also like a good narrative driven game, yeah, it's, I mean, how can you not love that game, you know? But it's just, it has a steep learning curve though, because when you start, you don't have anything, and it's hard. So it gets easier as you, the more you play it.
Absolutely. All right, man. That's fantastic. So Kojima, and then also I'm slipping on what the first one was because we talked about that for so long. You said Kojima Productions for Death Stranding.
And Sonic Team.
And Sonic Team,
Adventure 1.
And Sonic Team. I can't believe it's for Sonic Adventure 1. That is wild.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And that game is tough because you got to use the triggers to look around in that game compared to having that right stick that I'm so used to now. Like back in the day, I don't think I ever thought of it like, oh yeah, I just use like the left trigger to turn my camera to the left or pan to the right with the right trigger. But now you got that right stick. You almost feel naked with that right hand on the Dreamcast controller because it's big, but it doesn't have that second stick. All right, so now I want to hear the game that you're most excited for coming.
Yeah, I'm hesitating between two because technically that would be Sonic Frontiers, because even though I am very skeptical about it for a lot of reasons, it's still a Sonic game. Therefore, it's still the one I'm gonna play on day one when it releases, and therefore the one I'm most excited for. Otherwise, I would have said Callisto Protocol. Would have been the other one. Yeah. But Sonic Frontiers, because if I have to explain the why, other than it's a Sonic game, I would say the graphics look okay, but the open world I'm not looking forward to, because I don't know if you saw with the trailers and everything, it's gonna be very slow paced. It's gonna be more like RPG, like a Final Fantasy of some kind, you know. So you're gonna have to rely on the cyberspace level to have your speed injection, you know. But those are all recycled levels from the previous Sonic games, with worse graphics, because now everything looks like you're in cyberspace, so it's not gorgeous like it used to be. And there's no momentum, so no momentum at all in Sonic Frontiers. They don't want to give us momentum anymore because they think that kids can't play games with momentum. It's too hard, because we didn't play Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 back then, you know. So yeah, I just, I mean, the Sonic community has been talking about it over and over, but like we need momentum back. I mean, come on, it's been too long, and they're always teasing us with the Sonic Adventure 3, where momentum could possibly be back, but like, yeah, I like that. I would like that back. Or if you give us a boost game, give us a real boost game like Sonic Unleashed. That was a really well done Sonic Boost game. Which none of it is the case here for Sonic Frontiers. So I know most people in the Sonic community are extremely excited for Sonic Frontiers. Most people, casual and Sonic fans, are going to love it, probably. But me personally, it's yeah. I mean, I will see when I play it. It might be really, really good. I hope it will. But I just wish they had put momentum back. That's my thing, though.
I mean, I feel like that's a fair take too, because momentum has been a big deal for Sonic for what, decades. So.
And I mean, you have momentum in Mario Odyssey, for crying out loud. Like you can roll down the hill, gain speed the more you roll in Mario Odyssey. But in Sonic now, whether you run like this, you got the same speed. It doesn't make any sense,
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean that's a very good take right there. I didn't even really think about that much. I was more or less thinking about like, how do these new mechanics look? I didn't think about, hey, what were they missing from previous stuff? So I was totally looking at it, like I said, in a casual light compared to you looking at it in more of a broader like aspect, like what do we have now that we didn't have then and stuff like that. But we're getting towards the end of the show. I only have a couple more questions left. One of them being, and this is right in your wheelhouse, what are 2 games that you'd like to see get revived and completely redone, get that AAA, luxurious experience?
Yeah. It's hard for me to choose just 2, so I will just choose 2, and I don't want to choose them in the same genre, so I'm going to pick 2 different genres.
Okay.
I'm going to say Sega Rally, I think, should come back.
Wow.
Played the heck out of that back in the day.
So you just want an arcade, a crazy arcade racer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Sega Rally would be phenomenal. And I also think they should bring back maybe Golden Axe.
Wow, you're digging deep.
Even in a style like The Witcher, a 3D style Golden Axe, I think that would get everybody excited. I don't know. That could be cool.
I mean, it definitely touched the nostalgia feels on millions of people across the world. So I don't think you're crazy for saying any of those at all. But on to a little bit more of a serious note, what frustrates you about gaming as a whole?
I will say, crushing in the last turn when I'm playing Outrun. Of course, that's really frustrating. That's the most frustrating thing you do. But I mean, it's the game. No, it's just sometimes also the community that we have to deal with some trolls, and that's kind of unfortunate. I wish everybody kept their cool, be adults here, and because sometimes you have a bad take or take a good take, but people don't like. You're gonna have some trolls trying to harass you left and right, like fanboys of whatever, or I mean, can be anything. So that's what's frustrating about the gaming community, I would say. Yeah, that would be that.
And then on the flip side, what would be like a dream come true?
Obviously, a Master System Mini would be a dream come true, or just for me, having the 8-bit Sonic games in Sonic Origins in the compilation, like bringing the 8-bit games back to modern platforms, because they haven't touched them since the Xbox 360 PS3 era. Completely forgotten them. So that would be that. I think Sega should also port their Sega Ages games that are on Nintendo Switch, take them out of the Switch and put them on Xbox and PlayStation and everything. So yeah, just developing the Sega back catalog. That would be, and the Master System Mini would be the ultimate dream come true. Yeah.
You threw the Master System Mini in there. Okay, I see where I see what you're doing. All right, cool. Well,
Well, obviously.
well, do you now? Do you happen to have any questions for me, like non-content creating wise, at all?
Well, what content creating wise? Well, gaming wise still, right? I can be
Yeah,
gaming.
it can be gaming. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be what has been your best time in Outrun so far?
Oh man.
Can you do a speed run of Outrun? That would be another one.
Can I? So, like, can I get from one end to the other? Yes. Can I? Can I do it consistently? No. I am very mid at Outrun. I've tried it a few different times. I even have Outrun 2 on my original Xbox, and it's a fun game, but it's one of those where like I crash a few times and I'm done. I'm just like, I'm done with this right now, and I take it out and put it in a different game. Because I'm just not seasoned like you are in that game at all. I'm more of a sit back kind of gamer. The games I sit forward for are usually for like Rocket League or shooters. Those are usually the only. I prefer gaming, lounging.
Yeah. If you like shooters, my favorite one is on the Master System, but it's an underrated game nobody knows. It's called Submarine Attack.
Wow.
I have I have a run of that on my channel. If you like shooters, you might maybe want to check that game out. You might not like it, but I know for me it's my favorite. It just clicked with me. Yeah, I want to check that out. I'll send you the links to it.
All right, yeah, that sounds dope. I'll definitely check it out because I have emulation and stuff like that, as well as some actual physical games and stuff like that. I use this Mega EverDrive. Yeah, the thing is so dope. I have like 80 some pages of just Sega Genesis games on there, and like all the games that I buy, like I feel silly when I go buy them because I know I can just play it, but I buy them anyways. Like I had to buy my favorite games, especially when they're in a case still and they still got the book in it and everything like that. I'm like, oh, I gotta cop this, even though I know I can just go to the crib and play it. But yeah, man, yeah, I mean, I love that EverDrive. It's one of the best things I've purchased for sure. Anything else?
My other question would be, what's your favorite console back in the day? What was your favorite, Nintendo or Sega?
Oh, it was by far Sega. I mean, that goes without even thinking.
Right. That's the right answer.
I was so my Sega. I had the original like big Genesis with this one right here with the volume cord or the volume plug-in for the front of it and whatnot, so you can plug in your headphones and listen to it. But then I also had another one, the second model that was thin, that was just, it wasn't as fat and it wasn't quite as tall. It had those three lines with the red every time you turned it on. And for that one, I remember I used to have to put a game in the back of it to keep the auxiliary, or not the auxiliary, but the AC on it, because it had like one of those, like, it just was. You remember those consoles back in the day? I mean, they if you were rough at all with your stuff, and me,
Yeah.
I was like 6, so I mean, I was rough. And you pull the console at all, you could just have damaged it permanently. So like, and because I mean, all the games, or all the controllers recorded back then and whatnot. So yeah, you yank on it at all, or the dog runs in the room and rips everything down or something like that. You might have a dysfunctional console. So I ended up with one of those, having to put games in the back of it to prop up the back so it'd stay on. And anytime I just nudged it a little bit, it'd turn off. So yeah, I as much as I love that console, it definitely gave me my heartaches too. Like just barely touching it, being in the middle of a football game and not being, because you remember like Road Rash 2, you had to write down the password.
Yeah.
So like you get 4 races in, and you're feeling good, and then you like just nudged that console or something like that, and it freezes the game. You gotta go all the way back to your previous written down password. There was no way to start right back up in that same spot, and it sucked.
Yeah. I remember I played the heck out of Road Rash. Oh man.
Road Rash 2 was my joint. Also, Justice League. I used to love Justice League as well on there. That was a really good game. X-Men with Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, and I think there was one other person. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, they had some fantastic games for the Genesis that I really loved. Maximum Carnage, 94 Madden. I mean, I could just keep going, like, of games that I loved. 95 Live. I loved my Sega back in the day. But anyways, we got to the end of the show. Thank you so much, Master System Marceau, for coming through the TSWS gaming channel this evening. It was a pleasure. I'm going to have you do one last thing before I have you rattle off where they can find you and whatnot. The last thing I'm going to have you do is just describe gaming for me in just 3 words.
Gotta go fast.
Oh my God. It's another outrun. All right. Yeah, we got you, dude. All right, so go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you.
So yeah, I'm on YouTube, Twitch, mostly, Instagram, Facebook, a little bit too, but yeah, mostly YouTube and Twitch. Stream almost every day on Twitch when I do my speed runs. When if I have time on my hands, I will go there. And I upload on YouTube. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Fantastic. One last time, I appreciate you for coming on, taking time out of your day, doing the damn thing on my channel. I appreciate it. I'm always down to come on over if you ever have any room on your channel for one of your monthly, sit and chat about gaming shows. Okay. I'm more than happy to be on it. Canadian Gamer, I'm looking at you. Might holler at you sometime soon to come through on the show if you're into this type of stuff. But it has been a pleasure, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. And remember, as I always like to say, keep it gaming or keep it moving. Peace out, you guys.
Bye.
Welcome to the Behind Them Sticks podcast, brought to you by TSWS Gaming.
Come and talk to me.
Lennard Ray.
Come on.